Hello! Week 37, and we're still with the Laura plot.
Still with the Laura plot.
Last week
Not getting anywhere.
I predicted that it'd be 3 weeks, so we got maybe 2 more, and I predicted a séance, which may or may not have happened. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. So what happened in the start of our week?
Well, basically the boys come back and they tell Carolyn and Vicky what happened, and then Joe goes to the library and he finds the article that they had found that was worn away, so he knows now that this L. Murdoch had a son named David. Named David, who died in her arms in the fire.
Yes.
So that's kind of disturbing.
A little bit.
Yeah. And then David sees himself in the fire, and he tells Vicky that he wants to go with his mother because he thinks it's a warning that he needs to go with her or he will get hurt, which is the complete opposite of what it is.
Josette, you're screwing it up.
I tell you, she doesn't even know what sign she's giving people. Although, him seeing himself in the fire, was that Josette or was that Laura? Or just David, because Laura was showing him how to see things in the fire, so maybe that was a Laura thing.
Maybe, right. Mm-hmm. We'll go with that.
All right, we're going with that.
You're off the hook, Josette.
For now. What else happened?
See if you can redeem yourself with any of your supernatural abilities. Yes. Oh, speaking of David, we had a fun little slate moment this week with David holding the slate and what was it, like over his head or something? He was just kind of slouched down and...
Or it was just right beside him. He slouched down, it was right beside him.
Oh, it was right beside him,
He was holding it, and he was like making these little faces, and then
someone's like over his face.
That was fun.
That was fun. I like the slate moments.
So Roger is still kind of not believing in what's going on, but then the book opens.
The book with that Joe had gotten from the library.
With that article, it opens. So then he
on its own.
And he reads the article about this boy, the David, who had burned in the fire, and he was so disturbed that the boy wanted to burn with her. Mm-hmm. So that's freaky that, maybe David is under her control, especially because he spent the night there, and she said if he spends the night, then he'll be hers forever or whatever.
Right.
So...
Has he spent the night? Oh, just that one time.
Yeah, when he slept in her arms. So maybe that's why he saw himself in the fire, and he thinks he needs to go with her, because it's kind of... that power is kind of propelling him that way, or causing him to want to go with her to burn.
Yes.
Just like the other David, so.
Right.
Yeah.
So Roger was upset, but then the next episode he seemed back to normal, kind of skeptical.
Well, yeah.
Roger a little bit.
He's always skeptical of the happenings, and I mean,
just saw this thing, and it was like bringing you to tears almost. He
was really upset.
Yeah. And what was after that? Was it the cliffhanger for that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roger kind of stands up to Laura and says that he believes now that David would be safer with him and that she needs to just go. So she's not terribly thrilled that she's losing people. So then she goes to Burke and tries to get him on her side, and he kind of seems like he still has a little bit left, but then all of a sudden he's just like, no, I don't trust you anymore. And so she's
using all her allies,
which is not good.
No.
And then Guthrie just kind of goes after her and after Laura, and finally confronts her and tells her that he believes that she is undead.
He has no qualms about just calling her out and saying what he believes, and he goes getting more bold with it, which is cool.
It's cool, but it's scary.
Yeah, because I mean, the first time he did that, he was literally daring her to do something to him, and she did, and he managed to make it out, but it's like, okay, would you want her to do it again? Like, I don't understand why he was being that...
I don't know. Oh, and Johnson,
bold, but...
Johnson was the one that told him that she didn't like her fire out, or didn't want her fire out. So he was kind of trying to, he was like, oh, I'm just going to put this out. And she's like, no, you won't. So I was like, just get a bucket and douse the thing already. Like, if you want to know what happens, go in there and put the fire out.
Yeah.
But they will not, because they're going to drag this on for a while.
Yes, they are.
So then he just kind of asks her if she's good or if she's bad and tells her to leave David alone. And not that she will, but
no,
this is what he has asked. So then he decides that it is time to have a seance in the old house. Things are just kind of coming and he needs to do this now. So he wants people who have been kind of connected with Josette. So David. So he tells David they're going to do something tonight that he'll enjoy. So he's kind of excited about that.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what. He's like, I get to stay up late and do something fun.
And Vicky, because Josette spoke through her. And Sam, because of the painting. So he asked Joe to go chat with Sam about the seance. And he does, and Maggie's there, and they're both like, really, you're going to do this? Like, this is ridiculous. But then Sam finally realizes that maybe he's more connected to this than he thinks, and he agrees to go.
Everyone's kind of struggling to deny all this weird stuff that's going on, so he's just like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll go.
And then poor Guthrie, he's just being attacked by Laura, so she tries again. But then Joe comes in. And it's funny that he's not connecting that it's the same thing. Like, he's just like, oh, I'm just feeling a little hot and faint, whatever.
Yeah.
So then Joe leaves, and then it keeps going. But then David comes in, and he's kind of by the fire.
He's in the hallway. David was in the hallway, and then Josette appeared in front on the stairs and came down the stairs and pointed to the drawing room so that David knew to go in the drawing. Although he's like, you want me to go in the drawing? He's like, yes, go in the drawing.
Just go! Run! He might be dead already. So
I thought he was going to throw himself into the fireplace or something.
I know, it was so creepy. I was like, oh my gosh, is she going to like make him burn himself up? I didn't like that. I was freaked out.
Yeah, that was creepy.
But he was by the fire, and so David came and broke the trance, and Guthrie was like, oh, you must be the key because you were able to break the trance. Although I think a lot of other people have broken it too. But yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so he thinks that David is the key.
But on the other end, I think last time it was broken with Laura. Yeah,
yes.
So.
True, yeah, because I was thinking Vicky broke it with Guthrie, but she didn't. It was because David went there.
Right.
To Laura's. That's a good point. So they're getting ready for the seance. And Sam meets Vicky and David at the old house, and they talk about...
Yeah, the tables and chairs all set up. And
they talk about Josette's painting and how it seems... I don't know, Sam said that it seems lifelike, or it seems something... Like it could be like...
Right, yeah, I can't remember what he said exactly.
Yeah, kind of suggesting that it almost looks like it could come out of the picture, kind of.
Right.
I think that's what I felt like anyway. Sam knows things.
Yes.
So then we have Guthrie coming. He went to go get his recorder. I don't know why he didn't take David with him if he thinks David's the key and that she's after him.
Yeah, he drove back to the hotel
he went by himself
to get his tape recorder.
And so then he is driving, and all of a sudden he sees bright lights. Did I miss something?
Yes, you did.
Oh, what did I miss?
You missed something big
and
infuriating.
Stupid Johnson.
So Laura shows up at the house again. She doesn't know that Guthrie was saved. She doesn't know that there's a seance and everything. So Miss Johnson just spills all the beans,
which is so dumb because Johnson was like earlier this week saying Laura, telling Laura, no, you can't. No, I think earlier this week.
Was it?
Two, I think both.
Oh, okay.
Like you can't.
Oh yeah, it was this week.
David's only allowed to go with Vicky or Miss Carolyn, and he can't go with anybody else, and
here she is telling her about everything that's happened. That Guthrie's fine, and that they're having a seance at the old house, and that they brought all the table and chairs over there, and who's all going to be there pretty much. And so Laura's like, oh, really? So she goes back to her fire.
Starts staring it down.
As Guthrie's driving home or driving back to Collinwood.
And he thinks there's just like bright lights in his eyes, but it gets brighter and brighter. And then he loses control of the car and it crashes, like upside down on fire crashes.
Yep. The same crash that Roger had. It was the same footage of Roger crashing in the.
Was Roger's upside down though?
No, but not that part. No, but like the part of like the headlights and the swerving car and stuff. That was all the same footage.
Makes sense. So yeah, we don't know what's going on with Guthrie. Is he dead? Can they do the seance without him?
Right. Is it going to be like when Malloy died, and then they're just like, well, I guess we'll just all go home?
I want to say he's dead, but it's sad. I really like Guthrie.
Me too.
But I want to say that he's dead, and maybe they'll be able to do it without him anyway. Or that's just so they can drag it on for weeks and weeks more.
Yeah, so we got another couple months more of this Laura
so
crap.
So 2 weeks might be...
2 weeks is way... That's why they had to kill him off.
Okay, so maybe that's my prediction, is that he's dead. maybe they'll try and do the seance without him. No, they wouldn't do that. Well, if they knew he was dead, they wouldn't do it without him. But maybe they'll try. They're like, oh, we don't know where he is, so we'll just try it.
We'll get started and he can join in.
Yeah. So that's my prediction. You got anything?
No, I'm trying to think what other things there are to predict. I can't think of anything else that's just kind of going on. Like, is Laura going to get stopped? Is she going to show up? Maybe she'll show up at the old house. Because if she knows about the seance, if they try to do another seance without Guthrie, because whether he's dead or not, he's probably not going to make it.
Yeah.
If he's upside down in a flaming car, he's probably not going to get there on time.
I wouldn't think so.
So if they do it without him, I'm thinking Laura's going to show up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she'll either interrupt it or prevent it from happening.
She's so annoying.
She's so annoying.
Johnson both.
Let's just leave everyone alone. Normally I like Johnson.
I know, but she was just so like,
they
think that I don't know what they're doing, moving the furniture and all this stuff. And I was like, really?
Yeah, she wouldn't have told Laura that. That was a little little cheating on the writer's part to kind of get the information.
And we noticed, writers, we noticed. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.